Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. We're in the eastern part of Valletta today. This is the part of the city that faces the Grand Harbor, the lifeline of Malta's past. In today's video, we're going to explore the city, street by street, and uncover more stories. Stay tuned for more. Today we begin on the eastern side of Valletta, where the city meets the Grand Harbor and the limestone walls rise dramatically from the sea. This is where we start our walk. As we move along the bastions, notice how the city feels open here. Unlike the tight grid of streets in the center, this side gives space, views stretching outward toward the water. Just ahead is the Malta Stock Exchange building. Before serving as the center of Malta's financial market, this structure was originally built as a chapel. The chapel was built between 1855 and 1857 by the Royal Engineers during British rule. It was designed as a multi-denominational place of worship and school for British soldiers, sailors, and their families stationed at Malta's large garrison and naval base. Its function changed over time, adapting to the needs of each era. That layered history is something you see often here. You're looking at an older photo of the chapel. Look closely and you'll notice something that's no longer there today, a bell. It's a small detail, but it speaks volumes. If you're enjoying the journey, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. We're now entering Upper Baracca Gardens, originally created in the 17th century as a private garden for the Knights of St. John. This terrace offered both leisure and strategy, beauty above and cannons below. Today, it's one of the most visited viewpoints in the city. We're in the breathtaking Upper Baracca Gardens, perched high on the upper tier of Saints Peter and Paul Bastion, the very edge of Valletta's mighty walls. Centuries ago, this wasn't a tourist hotspot, but a private retreat for the Knights of the Italian Lang of the Order of St. John. Imagine armored knights walking these same paths, looking for a quiet moment above the harbor breeze. After the French occupation of Malta ended in 1800, these gardens finally opened to the public, transforming from exclusive sanctuary to shared treasure. One of my favorite details here at Upper Baracca Gardens is this stunning row of stone arches framing the view like a living postcard. Although these elegant arches themselves are not defensive structures, they aren't just decorative. They're built into the historic bastion, blending military strength with graceful architecture. Honestly, it's the arches that turn this terrace from just a viewpoint into one of the most photogenic spots in Valletta. You're looking at the sunrise over Grand Harbor, its golden light spilling across the historic three cities. From this corridor, the harbor slowly reveals itself, opening into a breathtaking panorama in full view. This is one of the deepest natural harbors in the Mediterranean. For centuries, fleets anchored here, from the Knights to the British Royal Navy. It was a strategic jewel. Whoever controlled this harbor controlled Malta, and even now you can feel that sense of scale and importance. The heart of the island pulses here, in the waters that have witnessed centuries of history. Every ship, every battle, every strategic move has unfolded against this backdrop. You can almost hear the echoes of cannons and the sounds of ships docking. Today, the Grand Harbor is not just a relic of the past, but a living testament to Malta's enduring legacy. Across the water are the three cities, Vittoriosa, Senglea, and Cospicua. These settlements are older than Valletta itself. Before Valletta was built, this was the heart of Maltese maritime life. During the Great Siege of 1565, the Knights defended these cities fiercely against the Ottoman Empire. From here, you're not just looking at beautiful waterfront buildings, you're looking at survival. The three cities are often associated with the name Cotonera, a reference to the extensive 17th century fortification lines constructed to enclose and protect the area around Vittoriosa, Senglea, and Cospicua. Vittoriosa, also known as Birgu, dates back to the medieval period and became the base of the Knights of St. John before Valletta was built. In the 16th century, these cities formed the core of Malta's naval defense, and their streets and bastions still reflect that layered maritime history. We'll explore the three cities one by one later. For now, let's focus on Valletta. This is the saluting battery. These cannons once formed part of Valletta's defensive system, firing ceremonial salutes and signals across the harbor. Today, the cannons are still fired daily, not for war, but as a tribute to Valletta's military past. If you'd like to see it, they're fired twice a day, Monday to Saturday at 12 o'clock noon and 4 p.m. This stone corridor is not just a viewpoint, it's a balcony over Malta's past where every corner tells a story. Walking beside the elegant arches of Upper Baracca Gardens feels like stepping into a postcard. This corridor frames some of the most breathtaking views over the Grand Harbor. With golden stone columns and open sea views, it's easily one of Valletta's most iconic spots. Standing here, you're looking at waters that witnessed knights, naval fleets, and centuries of maritime history. Look at these arches, each one a doorway to the past, overlooking waters that once carried knights and warships. Take a moment to appreciate them and imagine how many centuries they've been standing here. Upper Baracca Gardens feels like a peaceful escape tucked above the busy streets of Valletta. Lush greenery and shaded benches make it the perfect place to slow down. It's hard to believe this serene garden was once part of the city's defensive fortifications. Today, locals and travelers gather here, not for battle, but for breathtaking harbor views. It's more than a garden. It's a quiet pause in the middle of centuries of history. This is the Baraka Lift. It provides a quick vertical link between the waterfront and Valletta's upper streets. In just seconds, you can travel a height that once required a long climb through steep roads. The mix of nature and limestone architecture gives the garden its timeless Maltese charm. It's more than just a viewpoint, it's a quiet pause in the middle of centuries of history. Trees sway lightly above, adding a tropical touch to this historic setting. The gentle sound of conversation blends with the sea breeze drifting up from the harbor below. Tables and chairs are spread around the area, offering a pleasant place to sit and relax with a coffee. There's also a small cafe where you can pick up a drink and enjoy the surrounding views, some of the finest in Malta. Nestled within the gardens is a peaceful fountain, often overlooked in favor of the views. It adds to the tranquil vibe of the space with the soothing sound of water, shade, and stone benches, the perfect spot to pause and unwind. Upper Baraka Gardens isn't just about the outward views, it's also a place to slow down and take a moment for yourself. We're now leaving the peaceful calm of Upper Baraka Gardens behind. Time to step back into Valletta's lively streets and continue the journey. Outside Upper Baraka Gardens, you'll usually spot a karotzen, a traditional Maltese horse-drawn carriage. We're a bit early today though, so there aren't any around just yet. These carriages date back to the 19th century and remain part of Valletta's character today. They move slowly through the streets, adding a nostalgic rhythm to the city. It's a living reminder of a time when horses, not engines, carried people through the capital, when journeys were slower and every ride felt a little more personal. The city wakes gently, moving at its own pace, a serene pause before the midday rush takes hold. Shops begin to open and the scent of fresh bread and coffee drifts through the narrow alleys. Morning is truly the best time in Valletta, unfolding like a warm painting. Quiet streets drenched in soft sunlight, the golden limestone walls glowing as if the city itself is slowly waking. Right ahead is the statue of George Borge Olivier. He served as Malta's prime minister and played a key role in leading the country to independence in 1964. His presence here reflects Valletta's role not just as a historic fortress, but as the political heart of modern Malta. A short walk away is the statue of Dom Mintoff, another influential prime minister. Mintoff shaped Malta's direction in the years after independence, strengthening the country's sovereignty and international identity. These statues represent different chapters of Malta's political story, debated, remembered, and still discussed today. You'll see Christmas decorations around because this was recorded in January. They were still up after the holidays. We're walking in the stunning square right by the Auberge de Castile, one of Valletta's grandest landmarks. This square anchors the city's Baroque heart, surrounded by historic power spots like the Prime Minister's office inside the Auberge. Now we arrive at the Auberge de Castille. Originally built in the 16th century to house the knights from the region of Castile, it now serves as the office of the Prime Minister. Its elevated position, grand staircase, and commanding facade speak to an enduring authority, rooted in the past and asserted in the present. Decisions were once made by the knights and are now made by a modern democratic state. The building has retained its sense of authority. This building's limestone walls have seen hundreds of years of leaders, battles, and rule. Even though the people in charge have changed, the feeling of power still lives in the stone. These streets make the past feel present, close enough to watch you pass. Close by stands the statue of Paul Boffa, another former prime minister. He led Malta in the years following World War II, a period of reconstruction and political change. During the World War II, Boffa served with distinction as district commissioner and a medical officer. He was created a Knight Bachelor by Queen Elizabeth II in 1956. Together, these monuments show how Valletta is not frozen in the 16th century. It continues to represent Malta's evolving story. This is the Church of St. Catherine of Italy. Built in the 1570s for the Italian Knights of the Order of St. John, this church reflects Valletta's international roots. The church was built in 1576 and is listed on the National Inventory of the Cultural Property of the Maltese Islands. Each group of knights built its own auberge and often its own church, small reminders that Valletta was once home to a multinational order united by faith and defense. This is where we end today's episode. I hope you enjoyed the video and thank you for walking with me. I'll see you in the next episode.